It's homecoming at Spring Lake Park High School tonight. Panthers Stadium, the site of a big-time battle in Class 5A between the Robbinsdale Cooper Hawks and the Spring Lake Park Panthers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bill Up, alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Walsh. And Nick, it should be a great battle tonight. SLP comes in with a record of 4-1. Cooper a record of 3-2. But both of these teams flying high and have performed extremely well this season, both with very explosive offenses.
Yeah, these two teams are looking, or I should say I'm looking forward to this one tonight. Spring Lake Park comes in a record of 4-1 and coming off a 35-7 victory over Mahtomedi in their previous game. Always a big game with Mahtomedi, and Spring Lake Park able to come up to the task on that one. Meanwhile, the Robbinsdale Cooper Hawks, they've been playing well as well. 34-14 their last week against Simley. Spring Lake Park comes in ranked number 7 in the state in Class 5A, and Robbinsdale Cooper certainly up to the task as well. So we should have a wonderful matchup, and we should see the scoreboard light up quite often tonight. Yeah,
you would think so. And now SLP has a strong defense, but Cooper can put up points in bunches, and they have a bunch of weapons in the top 10 in the state in yards and receiving yards, rushing yards, and we'll certainly talk about those young men throughout the night. Cooper won the toss and deferred to the second half, so Spring Lake Park will receive the football, and we'll see that split veer offense go to work right away.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We were talking prior to the game tonight about some of these teams that they have played, and of course Spring Lake Park, the only loss they have this season is to the Chanhassen Storm. They lost 14-7. Meanwhile, Robbinsdale Cooper played Robbinsdale Armstrong, and I'm getting somewhere with this. Robbinsdale Armstrong beat them 49-14, and a couple of weeks ago I was out at Chanhassen, and Robbinsdale Armstrong took it to Chanhassen 49-14. So, you know, the transitive property of sports doesn't work usually at all, but it's interesting how these dominoes have fallen a little bit. And so Spring Lake Park and Robbinsdale will decide for themselves who the better team is, as Spring Lake Park will get the ball first to start the game.
Indeed they will. As Litke and Clausen back deep to receive for Spring Lake Park, taken at the 11. Clausen brings it out, and he is buried under across the 20 out to the 22-yard line. And that's where the Panthers will take over 1st and 10 with their first drive of the game. Absolutely beautiful night for football here, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely a beautiful night here for football as the offense coming out onto the field for Spring Lake Park. And the player to watch to start at least will be Aaron Clausen, the running back, or check that Nate Litke leads the team with 430 yards rushing, 10.5 yards per carry on the season.
In the backfield, turn and give, and driven back after a gain of a couple was Litke. He has the carry, so 2 yards on his first carry. Out to the 24-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 8. This is a ball control offense, and it's been quick strike, especially on the first possessions of the game. Spring Lake Park on their last 3 games has scored on their first drive of the game, so certainly an offense that likes to start quick. This time, the keeper spinning off trouble and into the second level. Nice little run there for Braden Talso, who actually leads the team in carries with 44, 203 yards, but a nice little run there and a gain of 14 yards.
Yeah, just getting around off that right tackle and finding some open space, picking up the first down. First down of the game for either team.
And of course, most of Spring Lake Park's first downs will be of the rushing variety. They operate from their 40-yard line. Again, Talso is going to keep, and this time he's stacked up and driven back after a gain of just 1. So Talso, 2 straight carries. And certainly Robbinsdale School very familiar with Spring Lake Park and its offense, as they are a regular opponent of the Panthers. And we've got some serious beef up front. including Jackson Howard. We'll get to him throughout the game. 19 tackles, 4 sacks, and 5 tackles for loss for the highly recruited junior. Give up the gut, not much there, just a gain of a yard. That is Clausen on the carry, so first carry of the game for Aaron Clausen. And this is a situation, Nick, that you don't want to find themselves in too much, 3rd and long.
No, this is not the type of an offense that works well when they can't pick up those first 2 downs. They like to be in that 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. Those are manageable downs for a running offense like Spring Lake Park.
3-step drop. Talso looking for help. Jackson Howard's going to throw him down for the sack.
And there's the big recruit for Robbinsdale Cooper, Jackson Howard. He's got 30 Division I offers, including the University of Minnesota, among others. And you can see the way he gets in there as the quarterback dropping back, and good pressure across the line as that whole Cooper Hawks defense was on the move, and it was Howard who gets the sack.
Howard flings him down for his 5th sack of the season. Braden Comer will be standing at his 20-yard line to boot this one away. Back deep to receive David Connors. Connors drifting back, taking it at the 27, loses his footing, and a good job of coverage by Owen Spencer to take him down.
Yeah, that's one of those 1-on-1 plays where if that first person doesn't get him, he could get a nice return, but a nice play there by Owen Spencer, the senior defensive back, of getting in and really centering himself, not allowing the return man to get anywhere.
So now we'll see Joe Russell and the Cooper Hawks come out. Russell 61 of 103 for 968, 12 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He's 15th in the state in passing yards and tied for 10th in passing touchdowns. He operates out of the shotgun. Play fake, swings it near side. This is Dante Williams spinning off tacklers, and he gets across the 35 out to the 36, a gain of 6 on first down.
Nice little catch there on the swing pass to Williams, and a gain of, as you mentioned, about 6 yards on the play, as Williams just taking it out of the left side and rolling around. Good done on first down.
From the 36-yard line and 2nd and 4. This time he's going to pull it down and keep it himself around the left end. Stiff arms a man inside of Panther territory. Plenty of first down yardage down to the 48. A pickup of 16 yards on that 2nd down carry for Russell.
Yeah, Joe Russell rolling around. Watch this as he evades that first man. We talked about the first man, and then once he gets by, he's just rumbling through. And the other point, yards after contact. He got hit about the 45-yard line, but was able to pick up another 7 yards after contact.
Camden Royal, the lone setback, 116 carries, 720 yards, and 8 touchdowns for him. He'll get the call on first down, makes a man miss. Flag comes out. He gets flung out of bounds near the 30, but this is in the position where they often call holding. So we'll see what the initial signal is. First flag of the game with 7:42 to go first quarter.
There's 2 pieces to this. One is that I think it's going to be, I believe it's holding, but then the other is that it's well upfield, and so that'll be a spot foul. So they may actually only lose about 3 yards on the play. Of course, they lose the yardage that they would have picked up otherwise, but they will actually only lose about 3 yards on the play.
Yep, back inside their own territory at the 49, but to your point, a spot foul. 1st and 13. 2 receivers right and left for Cooper. Russell turns, throws, flags come flying. He hits Connors out there, his leading receiver, near first down yardage. We'll see what the flags are as he gets down to the 39.
I'm guessing that there weren't enough players on the line of scrimmage. I think this is an illegal formation against Cooper, so that'll be another 5 yards. But we'll wait. And an illegal formation.
Yep. So 2nd penalty for Cooper of this drive. David Connors, 19 catches, 468 yards, and 6 touchdowns on offense. He's 9th in the state in receiving yards and 6th in the state in touchdowns. So, but even like a guy like Dante Williams now has 15 catches for nearly 200 yards and a couple touchdowns himself. So a lot of dual threat players on this Cooper team and a lot of dangerous athletes as well. Russell gives to Royal on the inside handoff. He charges ahead across the 50 down to the 48-yard line. So a gain of 8 on that rush. And it'll make it 2nd and 10.
We talked before about yards after contact, and on that particular run, a lot of contact early, but again, the running back keeps his feet moving, and Royal was able to pick up 8 yards, probably 6 of which were after the initial contact.
Connors, lone receiver split to the near side. Russell, 3-step drop. He'll decide to pull it down and run, and he's going to be sacked.
Seth Johnson getting in there to make the stop. No gain on the play. It'll be about a half-yard loss. So technically a sack if they move the ball backwards. So a nice play there getting in there is Seth Johnson, the senior.
Yeah, he blew the play up. I mean, Russell obviously wanted to throw, didn't like what he saw, decided to pull it down, and Johnson tracked him down from behind and caused a half-yard loss. So that brings up 3rd and 10 now for the Hawks. In a fast-moving first quarter, more than midway through. Ball at the Panther 48-yard line. Right on that Panther head logo at midfield. Russell, 3-step drop, airing out. He's looking for Connors, and Connors cannot haul it in. Wasn't sure if a flag was going to come flying, but ultimately the ball was thrown too far wide, and he goes out of bounds. So Robbinsdale Cooper will be forced to punt.
And I was looking for a flag there for offensive pass interference. It looked like David Connors, as we watch on the left side, or right side of your screen here, watch, he kind of reaches around and tugs on the jersey right there. You can see the jersey extend off of him, but no flag, but he didn't catch the ball either.
So Cooper will punt it away. Both teams' defenses stiffening when they needed to, as that one will be touched up at the 27-yard line. And that will be where Spring Lake Park will begin their 2nd possession of the game.
So we talked about the tough offenses for both these teams, and each one of them has 1 first down and a punt so far in their first possession.
Yeah, they looked good getting that first down, but then defenses, Cooper, of course, hurt by those penalties. Clausen the lone setback. He gets the call on first down. Bit of a botched handoff, however, and Cooper stacks him up for no gain. It certainly looked like that anyway from our vantage point. Didn't look like the cleanest of exchanges between quarterback and running back.
A very late handoff, if nothing else. It looked like there was a lot of thought with Telso if it was a run pass or a run option. He waited until the last possible moment before giving the handoff.
Again, Telso under center. This time he turns and looks to throw, and he's got his man. Oh, no, he doesn't. Across the 35, and it was knocked out. Ultimately, he thought he had made a connection with Peyton Thompson, but good job defensively by the Cooper secondary.
I thought he had it as well. It came out very late if we watch the replay here. The pass was good on the slant, and it looked like he had it. I'm not sure if that wasn't a fumble.
Nicely defended by Jeffrey Bailey.
Well, that ball might have been coming out. It was a half of a football move, maybe we'll call it.
3rd and 10 from the 27. Talso's going to keep it himself, and not much room at all. Up to the 30-yard line. He'll be well short of the first down rather. And so Cooper's defense holds again, and they force a Panthers punt.
Yeah, quick 3 and out. The run defense showing their mettle for Robbinsdale Cooper, and they'll force the punt team back on.
Keith Piro, a junior, will be back deep to receive for Cooper. And he gets a good punt away. Piro drifts back, catches it at the 30. Drifts back to his 25, trying to evade defenders. And he gets a positive yardage out past the 35. And finally, he's roped down and gang tackled near the 35-yard line at the 34.
Yeah, a nice return of about 15 yards. And the difference between the first return and this one, obviously, was that first man. We talked about it the first time, a really good return coverage by Spring Lake Park. Not that this was poor coverage, but at the same time, when that first person misses, it always allows for sometimes a larger return like that.
And it was an impressive catch in the first place, going away, almost catching it over the shoulder, and then having to track back 5 yards and make that up. So the Hawks will start with it 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. And again, 4 receivers, their typical spread formation. Royal, the lone setback. Russell gives to Royal. Camden Royal stacked up and driven back by this Panthers defense. They'll give him a yard to the 35. But that Panthers defensive line is rallying to the football and making life pretty tough in between the tackles. Kyrie Shaw in there, Seth Johnson, Nolan Hendrickson flowing from his linebacker spot. Russell looking left, now throwing middle. He's got a man open. That's Royal out of the backfield. First down yardage and more inside Spring Lake Park territory. Down to the 44-yard line, a first down, and a nice pickup of 21 on that pass play.
Yeah, that was a nice play right over the middle, found this man, and again, Royal was able to turn upfield and find some green.
Nothing super complicated, a quick decision by Russell though. 1st and 10 now, Russell gives to Royal, and Royal thrown down by big 54 Kyrie Shaw, 26 tackles and 3 tackles for loss, but not before Royal picks up 3 down to the 41.
Well, this is a stout defense, as you talked about in the pregame for Spring Lake Park. They've only allowed more than 10 points once, and that was a 34-24 win at Crittenden Hall in the opener. Since then, 7 points, 14, 10, and 7.
Russell looks, finds Connors, and he will stiff arm a man. And go out of bounds as Trevon McMiller makes his 18th tackle of the season, but it does move the chains as he gets it down to the 28-yard line, a pickup of 13. David Connors, the leading receiver for Cooper this season. That's his 21st catch of the year.
And a nice start so far for Robbinsdale Cooper's Joe Russell, 3 of 4 for 40 yards so far on the night.
They certainly spread it around, a lot of the kids with 10-plus catches. From the 28, Russell pitches to Royal. Royal cuts it back upfield. Nice move into the open field. First down. Down near the 15. Spot him at the 16, but a gain of 12 and a first down for the Hawks.
Yeah, the option play here going through, and nice blocking up the field. One of the key blocks there was Dante Williams, the wide receiver, who was able to open up the space and allow that big hole for the first down.
Caden Carson made the tackle for the Panthers. Now Russell from under center turns and gives to Royal, and this time he's tracked down by a host of Panthers. They'll give him 1, but well defended by SLP on that one. Jackson Smith, the junior linebacker, in there on the stop.
Also in on that play, Seth Johnson. We talked about him before when he was able to pick up that short sack, and also in on the stop for Spring Lake Park.
Russell, play fake, throwing, hitting Connors, touchdown! Wait, no, they're going to signal him short. I beg your pardon, his knee was down at the 1. It's a 14-yard pitch and catch. And now Cooper with a 1st and goal from about the half-yard line, knocking on the doorstep. There's that nice little play fake. Connors
don't know if he was ever down.
I thought he got in, but they say he's short. So now power formation behind Russell. Turn and give to Camden Royal. He's stacked up and driven back. Loss of a yard and a half back to the 2-yard line. And there was no question what they were going to do there. And so they turned and gave it to Royal, and now it's 2nd and goal. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just let the quarter expire here and talk about what they want to do on 2nd and goal.
And that's what's going to happen here as the two teams coming off the field, and we've reached the end of the first quarter.
So that is the end of the first quarter. An entertaining first quarter, but we're scoreless after 1 here between Cooper and Spring Lake Park on North Metro TV. Back here at Panther Stadium on homecoming. Good crowd on hand. And the Panthers defense trying to stiffen here early 2nd quarter, as Cooper has marched it all the way down to the 2-yard line. And the thing is, Nick, with this offense, you really have to respect all of the weapons they can throw at you.
Oh yeah, no, they can open up holes on the run, they can go outside on the run, and they can move the ball in the air. It's a tricky proposition.
Out of the shotgun, and now out of the timeout. Spring Lake Park wants a timeout. Out of the quarter break, Spring Lake Park wants a timeout. We'll keep it here, but it's like you talked about. You have to respect the play fake to Royal, and then they can throw it through the air as well.
Well, and sometimes offenses like this struggle the most when they're right up against the goal line. So maybe this is advantageous to Spring Lake Park. This Robbinsdale Cooper team is one that can open up a lot of space. And so when all of a sudden the field is very short and you don't have those options for those maybe dynamic pass plays or those opportunities, it sometimes gets tougher for these type of offense when they get close to the end zone. So maybe advantageous a little bit for Spring Lake Park. Obviously, it's not where they want to be, but at the same time, it maybe actually takes a few options away from Robbinsdale Cooper.
So the Hawks on 2nd and goal at the start as we start the 2nd quarter. Snap back to Russell, gives it to Royal, and the ball's loose on the ground. Spring Lake Park thinks they have it, but no official signal yet.
Looks like Robbinsdale Cooper got it back.
Yep, Robbinsdale Cooper fumbles it, but retains possession and really doesn't lose much yardage either. Still, that's going to bring up 3rd and goal. And as an alumni of Missouri, University of Missouri, and having watched that spread offense struggle inside the 10, I can confirm what you say. It's absolutely true that sometimes spread offenses, when you don't have that option to go under center, or you're not comfortable doing so, that shorter field, those tighter quarters can be tough. So here we go, 3rd and goal now. Russell gives again to Royal. This time he finds pay dirt for Cooper. So 48 seconds into this 2nd quarter, Camden Royal bulldozes across for his 9th rushing touchdown of the season, and Cooper strikes first.
And Camden Royal, 7 carries on the day, 25 yards along with that touchdown. And that gives Cooper the early lead.
Leo Garcia on to tack on the extra point, and that is good. He's now 19 of 20 on the season, and it's 7-0 Cooper on the 2-yard touchdown run by Camden Royal right here.
You can just see weaving in between that right guard and right tackle, putting his head down low so his center of gravity is close to the ground, and just pushing his way in for the touchdown.
And the Panthers defense held pretty stout to even get it to 3rd down. But ultimately Cooper able to recover its own fumble in the shadow of the goal line, and then Royal punched it in. So now it's the Panthers' time. It'll be their 3rd time with the football. Gained 1 first down in this game, and they went 3 and out last time.
Well, by the way, today, scoring his 9th touchdown of the season.
Yep.
That leads the team in all regard.
9th rushing touchdown for Royal. And as we said, this is a Robbinsdale Cooper team that can really pile up the points. 164 yards a game on the ground, 193 through the air, and averaging 35 points a game coming in. So certainly a test for this Panthers defense. Taken by Litke from the 2-yard line, returning it out. And he's finally flung down out at the 25-yard line. And that's where Spring Lake Park will begin its 3rd possession of the game.
And obviously Spring Lake Park, they like to keep the ball primarily on the ground. So not always advantageous when you fall behind early. They much prefer to be ahead than behind, but that's pretty self-explanatory there as well. But for Spring Lake Park, they just have to believe in what they do well, which is move the football on the ground. And I don't think there's any need to panic at this point. They just need to do what they do.
No question about it. Clausen will be in the backfield as Talso goes under center. Haven't heard much from Litke or Nick O'Giles. Up the gut for a couple, 4 yards on the run there, as that was Braden Comer getting the tote. We've got a bunch of players, by my count 5 players with at least 25 carries on the season. Give him 3 officially. 2nd and 7 from the 28. Turn and give to Clausen, cutting it upfield. Finally tackled by Dante Williams out across the 40-yard line. Picks up 1st down yardage easily, a gain of 13 for Aaron Clausen. Clausen, 43 carries, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 fumbles coming in.
And the key to this was a block that came in right there that opened up that right-hand side, and a nice block on the way by Spring Lake Park on the near side. That was Braden Comer, I believe, number 8.
Turn and give to Litke, and Nick Litke out near midfield, down at the 48-yard line, 3 yards shy of a 1st down. So this is more what Spring Lake Park wants to do. 6-7 yards a carry, particularly on 1st and 2nd down. Sets up manageable 3rd down situations.
Litke 2 carries so far today for 21 yards. So the couple of times he has carried the football that have been very effective.
Turn and give to Comer. He picks his way into Cooper territory. Gain of 5 down to the 47. And another 1st down for Spring Lake Park. So they had 1 1st down the entire 1st quarter. They've already picked up a couple on this drive.
Yeah, no, they've been able to find some room, and that offensive line starting to open up some holes for Spring Lake Park as they've been able to pick up a couple of 1st downs.
Mikey Say split out wide. Play fake. And that play is blown up from the start. Cooper not fooled at all. Excellent penetration by Andre Reese, and John Barrow cleans it up. A loss of 1.
That was a nice play there by Andre Reese. He gets into the backfield and again centers himself, so there's nowhere for the quarterback Talso to go.
Talso again under center, hands off to the 1st man through. Down near the 45-yard line goes Braden Comer. So it sets up 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 officially. Spot him at the 45. And the thing about these rushing attacks, though, Nick, they can surprise you with that pass when you least expect it.
Absolutely, and that's the element of surprise that Spring Lake Park does have. However, they're not going to be too surprising here if they pass, as they'll be looking for it.
Talso, play fake, give on the inside carry to Clausen. Plays strung out, flags come flying in. But that play was going nowhere fast. Cooper swarming to it.
I'm wondering if there wasn't a face mask in here, though, too. That would be a first down for Spring Lake Park if that's the case. Could also be a hold.
Jackson Howard may have been held there as well. We'll see what the indication is right here. Penalty is declined by Cooper, so it brings up 4th down, but we see the penalty right here. And indeed, Howard.
Oh, right there.
That's a clear hold on Eric Vadoy. Jackson Howard is a handful in his defense, and he got a handful right there. Caden Carson on to punt now for Spring Lake Park. David Connors awaits the punt back at his own 10-yard line. Carson gets a good punt, but way too much. That'll be a touchback, as he couldn't quite pin him inside their own 20. So Cooper, with a 7-0 lead here on Spring Lake Park's homecoming, will take over 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
3 punts on 3 possessions now for Spring Lake Park.
I said the 25-yard line. I guess it's the 20. Where they are taking over.
Net gain of 26 on the 46-yard punt.
But picking up first downs does flip the field. So Russell, quick step, throws, juggled, but the pass is caught. It was initially bobbled by Keith Pirro, but he manages to catch it and bring it in. And they'll spot him just shy of the first down, a gain of 9 on first down. You see it just bounces off his shoulder pads, but he manages to catch it anyway before he's wrangled to the ground by Owen Spencer.
Yeah, that was a tremendous focus by the receiver.
Give to Royal. He spins out of a tackle. He gets to the edge. He's dragging defenders. First down yardage out to the 35. A hard running pickup of 6 for Camden Royal.
He's definitely a talent back there. As he's now got 8 carries for 31 yards in the touchdown.
As you see this, spins off and then just drags Panther defenders.
Well, and again, I bring it up because I brought it up before, but yards after contact is so important and very impressive by him.
Doesn't get much yak on this carry, just out across the 35. Call it a gain of 1 to the 36. And I don't know if you have dinner plans tonight, Nick, but if you do, I think you're going to make them. We're already midway through the second quarter. Cooper continues to methodically go, and they can be one of those offenses that's actually pretty balanced at the high school level. Connors, the lone receiver, split out wide left. Russell takes and gives to Royal in between the tackles. And Royal picks up a couple. I would say for the most part, Nick, that Spring Lake Park's defense has done a pretty good job on Royal.
They really have. You know, and again, I talk about the yards after contact because if they were able to bring him down when they made the contact, he would have very few yards at all. But to his credit, he's been able to drag these Panther defenders along with him for the ride. It hasn't been that they haven't been in position. It's just he's been able to fight through their tackles.
Sets up 3rd and 7 at the 38-yard line. High snap. Russell pulls it down, throws it to Jackson Howard. Gang tackled. He'll fall forward across the 40, out maybe near the 41, but they'll still be well short of the first down. And now it's decision time, and it looks like Cooper's going to punt. It's a big target that you got to go gang tackle there, Jackson Howard.
As we take a look, just a little float pass, and they're hoping that the blocking was going to be true, but a nice job there. Looks like by number 12, Nate Lipke, he was able to break through the initial block and get into the backfield, and that really busted up the play for Robbinsdale Cooper.
So Spring Lake Park will get the football back with 4.5 minutes left to play before half. Fielded by Mikey Say up the near sideline, and he's tackled out of bounds into his own bench across the 40. A pretty good return of about 13 yards. and it sets up Spring Lake Park with some pretty good field position.
And 4 minutes and 19 seconds to go, so they don't have to rush. They've still got the 2 timeouts, but it would be some nice momentum for Spring Lake Park if they were able to put some points on the board before halftime. Don't forget, Robbinsdale Cooper gets the ball to start the second half. So if the Panthers could tie this game or at least put some points on the board before halftime, they would have some positive momentum going into the locker room.
Talso under center, turns, 3-step drop, being chased, throws the screen into all kinds of traffic, and nothing doing. Pass falls incomplete. And Nick, it's funny, we talked about the potential for offensive fireworks coming into this game. If anything, we've seen a defensive tussle.
Reminds me of a baseball game I once called in minor leagues, where we had the opening, the wind was howling, and the opening batter of the game hit a home run, and I said, well, this game's not going to end 1-0 the way this wind is blowing. Final score was 1-0.
Figures. Talso gives to the up man. He's swarmed under. Host of big Cooper bodies in there, including Caden Dorsey, Carter Zerbas, Deshaun Ricks in there for Robbinsdale Cooper to stack him up and drive him back. You'll give him forward progress to the 41, but it still sets up 3rd and 9 now for the Panthers.
That's what I've been really impressed by, is this Robbinsdale Cooper defensive front. They've really been able to lock up most of these Spring Lake Park running backs tonight.
Talso will keep it around right end to him, keeping himself around right end, out across the 45 up to the 47-yard line, but he'll still be 3 yards short. But have to imagine this, well, actually there's still 3.5 minutes left to play, so I was going to say this is probably two down territory to get this first down, but they are going to keep the offense out there.
And this is a huge play, because if Robbinsdale Cooper gets the stop, they're going to have real good field position with 3 timeouts and about 3 minutes to do something with it.
And Robbinsdale Cooper takes a timeout before their nose tackle plunged across the line. So Hawks use a timeout wisely, trying to preserve some clock with 3:07 to go in the second quarter.
Willie Howard had some good karma there, because they almost were offsides, which would have given Spring Lake Park a first down. And Willie Howard calls the timeout at the last possible moment before the offsides.
The nice thing about 4th and 3, Nick, is that your playbook's pretty open. I mean, at midfield, 4th and 3, you really can kind of run anything. But it would seem like maybe a good time for your best and most innovative running play.
Yeah, and just looking through, about half of their running plays today have gone for plus 3 yards. So it's at least a 50-50 proposition if you give the football.
And in fact, they're actually going to punt.
They're going to punt now.
Because Trevon McMiller ran out there, and I thought, okay, this is interesting. But now Cooper trying to get their substitutions all set. So they will ultimately punt. Cooper smells a fake.
They don't trust this. There's nobody deep.
And they will indeed get it away. Homer, or Caden Carson tries to pin him deep, and that takes a Cooper roll. Ultimately, it's down. We'll see where they end up spotting it. But deciding to play the field position game after thinking better of it, not a bad decision.
Well, and I'm going to say, Caden Carson, the punter for Spring Lake Park, he's really an asset. He is. He can put it high and deep. He's got a really good punt, averaging 42 yards, which is very respectable for a high school punter. So Robbinsdale Cooper will have the football, and I think this was a good move from Spring Lake Park. I think if you don't get the first down, you put Robbinsdale Cooper in a really good position, and they will get the ball to start the second half. Things could unravel quickly.
Royal up the gut, makes a couple cuts, gets to the second level before he's dragged down right at the first down stick. I think they're going to give it to him. They do. So a first down rush of 10 yards. Move the chains for Cooper. They've got 2 timeouts as the clock rolls with 2:40 to go before half.
Yeah, and what opens this up, that's number 56, the right tackle, Corey Deloach. She had a great block on that play that opened up the whole right side.
Russell changing the play at the line. Play fake, throws the slant to Connors. He makes the catch, breaking tackles out across the 45 to the 46. A little pitch and catch of 16 from Russell to Connors. Now they're up to the line quickly. They want to move this as play fake didn't really go to anybody. Didn't matter. Connors had enough room. Just 2 minutes to go before half. Cooper on the march. And now a flag comes flying in. And I believe false start will be the call.
It gives us a chance to talk a little bit about what Joe Russell's been able to do so far. 7 of 8 in the air for 81 yards. And he's really been efficient with getting the football to 4 different receivers so far today. But the false start will move them back. 3 penalties now for 13 yards for Cooper.
Yeah, we said, a lot of kids on this team there's several receivers with 20+ catches on this team, or 15+ catches, so certainly likes to spread it around. Russell, 3-step drop, airing it out across the seam. He's got a man down there. Breaking tackles, still going, finally dragged down across the 30. That pass.
32-yard pass connection there.
To Kayvon Cager, the junior. Yet another one of those weapons. Spotted at the 27-yard line. 1:20 and counting left to go before half. Russell back to throw down the seam to Cager again. And this time he scores. Touchdown, Cooper. A 27-yard strike. And Kayvon Cager, little used wide receiver, the junior, makes 2 catches on this drive consecutively, and Cooper, with its quick strike offense, scores in just 1:15.
How about that? Cager comes in, 2 catches for 59 yards to move this Cooper team down the field, and just more of the same for Joe Russell, as he was right on the money with both of those. Now 9 of 10 for 140 yards and a touchdown.
Russell looking as advertised. Garcia on to tack on the extra point. He does. And on homecoming here at Spring Lake Park, all of a sudden, Robbinsdale Cooper finds itself ahead, 14-0.
As we watch again, no pressure and just a wide open seam. Really a nice route there by Kayvon Cager, as he is able to split the defense and just work his way down the field, just evading the tacklers long enough to get in the end zone. And now we are at the specter here a little bit of Spring Lake Park going into the locker room down by 2 touchdowns, and with Cooper getting the ball to start the second half. So this was why I thought it was a good move for Spring Lake Park to punt the ball, not to give him a short field, but really, really impressive drive by Cooper to take advantage nonetheless.
And it looked like for those 2 pass plays of 59 yards, it was the same play.
Yeah.
It was just 3-step drop down the right seam, and Cager was open. Russell with an accurate pass, found him open twice. Cager running hard, broke a couple tackles. And we knew Cooper could move the ball quickly, but even that was pretty surprising against such a stout Panthers defense. So now Garcia has it teed up at the 40-yard line. Spring Lake Park does have 1:15 to work with left in the second quarter, but they find themselves trailing by 2 touchdowns. Say,
no.
Oh my goodness, that's like a chip shot as Say picks it up at the 2-yard line. He gets it across the 10 out to the 12-yard line, but that thing just absolutely died. And Say was rightly trying to let it go out of bounds, but did not happen, as you see here, right here.
I was going to say, this is like me hitting a sand wedge, but I've never hit a sand wedge any way that doesn't shoot across the green. So somebody hit a sand wedge like that, and that was beautiful stuff.
And obviously, had that gone out of bounds, it would have drawn a flag, and the ball would have been at the 40-yard line. Instead, the Panthers have it at their own 12. 2 timeouts and 1:09 to work with. And they may have used one of those timeouts. Nope. Cooper used its timeout.
Well, I think so. It appeared that the ref was going to go one way and then turned to give the timeout to Spring Lake Park, and then just maybe realized it was Cooper.
That was the initial signal.
Make it fair, one for each.
But yeah, I mean, so Royal has scored early in the second quarter. He scored on a 2-yard touchdown run and then a 27-yard pass. And so exactly what we talked about, Nick, in terms of Cooper able to hurt you through the air and on the ground.
Well, and I've talked a little bit about Joe Russell being efficient with his passing. And I want to point out this stat as well. He's 9 of 10 for 140, as I mentioned. But maybe what's even more impressive, 7 first downs on those 9 completions. So not only has he been able to be efficient and been able to connect for positive yardage, but he's also been able to effectively move the sticks with those passing yards. So 7 first downs in 9 complete passes for Russell.
Yep, first down run. Not much for Comer. And you look at a player like Kayvon Cager, he'd played in 1 game. He had 2 games, and he had 2 catches for 27 yards coming in. So he equaled his season total just on that last drive alone. And again, having to account for that many weapons is just tough on a defense. 30 seconds left in this quarter. Talso will keep it himself, cut up field, nearly broke it into the open. Jackson Howard tracked him down at the 25, but a nice pickup of 11 on that rush by Braden Talso. Well, the clock continues to roll here, and I wouldn't be surprised to, well, Spring Lake Park will take another timeout to stop the clock with 17.6 seconds to go before half.
You quantify this on the you never know theory that somebody might break free. As long as you're not going to just down the football and go into the locker room, you might as well take the timeout and see what happens. I mean, there are some negatives that could come from that as well. Obviously, you don't want to turn the football over deep in the territory, trying to do something that you're not equipped to do, but at the same time, we might have there might be more than meets the eye here. Yeah, it looks like
Braden Talso favoring that right quad, and you could see him grabbing at it as he went off. So I'm not sure if he just got kneed on the tackle or whatnot, but we will have a new quarterback out there, at least for this last play.
Second's going to be Aaron Clausen.
Yep, Aaron Clausen. And he's a dangerous runner, of course, in his own right, but he'll go under center. Clausen keeps it himself, turns it upfield, dragging defenders for first down yardage. A nice run of 11 out across the 35 to the 36. Nehemiah Ponder from his linebacker spot tracked him down. But that should be and will be the last play of the first half. Robbinsdale Cooper on the road has the Panthers on their heels at halftime. They've got a 2-touchdown lead as we go to the break. It's 14-0 Robbinsdale Cooper over Spring Lake Park here on North Metro TV. On homecoming here at Panthers Stadium, Bill Hupp alongside Nick Walsh, and not a positive homecoming so far for Spring Lake Park. Robbinsdale Cooper, after a scoreless first quarter, punched it in early in the second quarter as there's some halftime festivities. And here are our first quarter highlights, and it started with a sack on the first drive by Jackson Howard, which set Spring Lake Park back, forced them to punt. Jackson Howard does that to a lot of teams, though. And then pass over the middle to Camden Royal, and he picked up first down yardage. And then a play we thought could have been a touchdown. Connors reached for the goal line. They ruled him down short. And then the second quarter, they would cash in eventually with Camden Royal plowing in from 2 yards out. Pretty methodical drive for Robbinsdale Cooper. Then the Hawks would have another touchdown drive, and all through the air there, David Connors. Nice little pitch and catch there. And then Kevon Cager, the man of the hour on this drive for Robbinsdale Cooper, makes a big catch there. And then on the next play, Joe Russell hits him from 27 yards out. And Robbinsdale Cooper enjoys a 2-touchdown lead at the half. So Nick Walsh, your thoughts on the first half we just saw?
Yeah, there's no question Spring Lake Park, if they're going to come back in this game, they've got to figure out a way to slow down Joe Russell. 9 of 10 for 140 yards and a touchdown. They've done actually a pretty good job keeping the ground game to a minimum. Just 13 carries for 56 yards. Not bad by any stretch for Robbinsdale Cooper, but it's been the passing. And Kevon Cager just kind of coming out of nowhere. You mentioned he had 1 catch for 27 yards. He's got 2 catches tonight for 59 yards. So
student section hoping to have a little more to cheer about in the second half as we get set to kick off. Spring Lake Park will boot it away to Robbinsdale Cooper. Got it teed up. Caden Carson puts his leg into it. It'll be fielded by Camden Royal at the 10-yard line. He brings it out across the 20, across the 30. And he's tripped up there. That's where Robbinsdale Cooper will start with the football. And Nick, an all-important drive coming up here for the Panthers defense.
Oh yeah, huge. Being down 14-0 and giving the ball to Robbinsdale Cooper to start this second half. Spring Lake Park's offense is just not one that's designed to come back from a multiple score deficit, and so if they fall behind 21-0, it's going to be very difficult for them. You take a look at the stats. 20 plays for 69 yards so far in the first half. They're averaging about 3.8 yards per play. Robbinsdale Cooper, 23 plays for 199 yards. They're averaging almost 9 yards a play.
Russell swings it out wide to Royal. He's wrapped up and flung down. Good team defense right there, led by Markel Taylor from his linebacker spot. Also in on the tackle, Jackson Smith, the junior linebacker for SLP.
And this was really good pursuit by number 14 for Spring Lake Park. That's Jackson Smith, as you mentioned. He was able to wrap up the pass receiver, and even though that is a reception, that's a loss of 4 yards on the play, and so second down and 14.
Back to the 25-yard line. They went with an empty set right there. 5 receivers in the pattern. This time Royal standing to the left of Russell. Russell pitches it to Royal. Plays strung out wide. Royal will get the edge and get across the 30 before he's knocked out of bounds.
Good run there of about 10 yards on the play, pretty close to 10. It looks like they'll mark him back at the 32-yard line. So gain of about 7 on the play.
Camden Royal having himself a nice game, including a touchdown on the ground early in the second quarter. This time Russell will go under center, and Royal the lone setback behind him. And the play is blown dead. Flag comes in, and usually this is a false start, and that is the early indication. So Cooper has been, I believe, the more penalized team tonight.
Yeah, 4 penalties for 18 yards, so not a lot of yardage, but it is wiped away a couple of first downs and now puts them into a scenario where it's 3rd down and long here for Cooper. So this is probably right now the play of the game for Spring Lake Park. They have got to pick up an early spot or a stop, which would give them some decent field position getting the ball back.
3rd down and 12 from the 27-yard line. Play fake. Russell rolling near side. Chase throws just over the outstretched hands of Jackson Howard. Good pressure on the play applied by number 21, Nick Ogile. And Trenton Thiessen as well. It's
just the 2nd incomplete pass of the night for Joe Russell, and it breaks up a string of 8 straight completions.
Mikey Say standing back at his own 40-yard line awaiting this punt. And a huge 3-and-out for Spring Lake Park. Did not want to go down 3 scores. That one's bounced into the punter, and he gets it away. Say signals for a fair catch and makes it at his own 37-yard line. So Spring Lake's Park offense goes to work with their first possession of the second half. And the key question will be who is at quarterback. And it looks like Braden Talso is back out there after he took a bit of a Charlie horse, we think, at the end of the first half.
He still looks like he's got just a little bit of hitch in his gait yet, but so maybe a cramp or maybe just got hit. But it does look like he is favoring one side over the other.
And that's important because he is a dangerous running threat, one of the leading rushers for this team. He's going to keep it on first down. Doesn't get much. Falls forward to the 39, 40-yard line. Call a gain of 2.5 or so on first down.
7 carries on the day for Telso for 13 yards.
And you're right. He does look like he's a little ginger on that leg. Ball spotted at the 39-yard line. Panthers have not thrown it much tonight as they look to the sidelines to change the play. Pulls it out of the belly and keeps it again and again. A vicious tackle made by Nehemiah Ponder. I believe Ponder must be the spy on Talso. He made the tackle on the first play. He makes the tackle there, and he is key to Talso coming around the edge, as you see here.
Yeah, and we talked about this off air too, but this has really been the most impressive aspect of Cooper, despite the fact that some of their offensive stats are pretty gaudy. They've been really able to shut down, and they've got some control of the line game on both ends so far today.
Talso again on 3rd and 5. He's ripped back. He'll get a couple yards, but he's flung back by big 58 John Barrow. Called his name a couple times. He is a big boy in the middle of that line.
Well, and you've got Barrow, 6'1", 270, but
and Carter Zerbis.
And also the other part of the line that got bottled up that sent the cornerback Talso to the left was because Cordarius Bracy was on the other side, and he's 5'11" and 350. So you could really take up a lot of space and really wreak havoc on this offensive and defensive front.
Connors drops the punt. He manages to pick it up before he's flung out of bounds across the 20-yard line. So Cooper will take over with their second possession after both offenses go 3 and out to start the second half.
And that's what happened the first time around. If you remember, the two offenses were unable to move the ball. We had a bit of a punting fest the first go around, as you can see the punt recovery there, nicely done by Connors after initially bobbling that.
Good camera work by our crew as well, being right there. Cooper takes over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Connors split short side to the right. Russell turns and gives to Royal right up the gut. Camden Royal into open space. Camden Royal stiff-arming his way into Panthers territory before he's dragged out of bounds, but not before a huge gain of 36 yards on that carry.
Yeah, longest run of the day there for Royal by far. Coming in, he had a 12-yard carry earlier, so now 36. And a big gainer here. And again, we talk about the line play. Look at the seam that he had. And then this is all him once he gets through it, throwing that stiff arm. And again, yards after carry, he got hit, but he kept on moving.
Royal again on first down, shifts outside, and a flag comes flying in the area of holding. Would negate a first down after he got out to a gain of 11 on that play, but we'll wait the signal from our ref.
And it is holding indeed against Cooper.
So wipes out another first down. In fact, there was 2 holding calls. One of them they declined. The other one they'll accept. So Spring Lake Park will force Cooper back into its own area. And of course, it's a spot foul. So looks like Cooper will lose 13 yards on that penalty. It's at 1st and 23 now for the Hawks. 2 receivers right and left. Russell play fake, throws the screen to Connors, or the slant rather. Connors dragging defenders out near the original line of scrimmage. Spring Lake Park says they forced a fumble. And they have a big turnover for the Panthers. Terrific defense by Spring Lake Park. Caden Carson, he punts. He also forces fumbles. David Connors trying to fight for extra yardage after that slant. Fumbles the football. First turnover of the game.
Yeah, this was a play that it kind of looked like it was broken from the start. Connors was able to make that catch, but I don't think he ever really had like full control of that football. He does get credit for the 13 yards, but a nice job of it being ripped out from behind just as he was coming through, and I believe
that's Nate Lipke.
I was going to say Nate Lipke, number 12, who got his hands in there.
Caden Carson pounced on the fumble, recovering it at the 44 of Spring Lake Park. That's where the Panthers start, 1st and 10. 3-step drop for Talso. Wants to throw it, decides to pull it down, and he's going to be sacked.
That's number 34.
Nehemiah Ponder. We've called his name all night long, and Ponder records the sack for Cooper. It's a loss of 2. And Talso did wise to just pull it down and take the sack and not turn it over.
Yeah, and there's definitely a limp there yet from the quarterback, Talso.
Big drive here for Spring Lake Park.
And that sack is not going to probably help things in that regard.
Talso turns and gives to Comer, and he's driven back again by that physical, big defensive line. They'll generously give him a spot up to the 44, so call it a gain of 1 back to the original line of scrimmage. But again, guys like Deshaun Ricks and among others leading the charge for Cooper.
Nate Lipke coming in on this play. He's only had 2 carries, but he was effective in both of them. He's got 2 carries for 21 yards. They have definitely used the other running backs. Talso, of course, has carried it. Comer as well, but we haven't seen much of Lipke tonight.
Lipke gets the call. Trying to fight his way down near the 50-yard line. They'll give him midfield. A gain of 6. It'll still leave them 4 yards short. Now another big call for this Spring Lake Park coaching staff, including John Stewart.
They're going to send the punting unit out.
Play field position again.
I was going to say I wouldn't have been surprised if they had gone for it here. This is definitely fake punt territory as well.
They know that. So Connors is going to jog back to his own 20-yard line, or even further, to receive this punt from Carson. But and it is going to be a fake. Flag comes down. They get it to Clausen. He gets first down yardage. He's knocked down across the Cooper bench. The flag comes flying on the far side. So we've got multiple penalty flags down. Aaron Clausen got the first down yardage, barely. And now we'll see what the flags are. Certainly going to be a late hit out of bounds on the far side, but not sure if it's going to be a legal formation or a false start. The initial flag that flew as soon as the snap came in.
Yeah, I think this is an illegal formation against Spring Lake Park, and then the late hit. And there's actually multiple calls over on the far side because there's a flag and there's also a hat laying on the far side, I believe. Or is that a football?
And another flag comes flying this time after the and that's going to be, I believe, an unsportsmanlike on the Robbinsdale Cooper's coaching staff, because the coach very disgusted on the far side, as you see Willie Howard unhappily talking to the ref. So we've got some laundry to sort out. And again, there is a flag on the near side in front of the Spring Lake Park bench, as you see Willie Howard continuing to plead his case. Well,
and there's a lot to work out here because there are live ball fouls and now there are multiple dead ball fouls. So on a 4th down and 4, we'll have to see how this all shakes out here. I believe, my guess is that because it's a dead ball foul. Well, and remember, they also got the first down. So, I mean, there's the penalty against Spring Lake Park is the live ball foul. So, yeah.
And Willie Howard clearly feels, Coach Howard clearly feels that that it was a judgment call, obviously, on that sideline. Late hits can be contentious, of course.
Well, and I think this is, I'm led to believe that this is going to end up with Spring Lake Park having the football. I think that's what's disgusting him maybe on the far side. So we'll wait for the calls here and see where the actual ball ends up and who's got it. We've got an illegal formation against Spring Lake Park, as we assume. I don't think they had enough people on the line. Now we've got a personal foul against Robbinsdale Cooper for the late hit, and that results in a first down because it's and then we've got the sideline warning against Robbinsdale Cooper as well. So ultimately, that's why Willie Howard was so upset about that, because the dead ball foul, because it was a dead ball foul, and it's hard to say. It looked like maybe the hit was pretty close to the sideline.
Yeah, I think.
And then there was a lot of momentum. I mean, the fact that they ended up crashing into the bench was probably what mitigated everything to the extent of the flag. But ultimately, this is Spring Lake Park, and that is a huge call, by the way, because that gives Spring Lake Park the ball back. It's a first down. They're into Cooper territory, and that might be the momentum that Spring Lake Park needs to get back into this game.
Got to get a touchdown first, and certainly we thought it could be fake punt time, and it was. And a fumble. Panthers able to fall back on it. Nehemiah Ponder is the one who shoved Clausen out of bounds on the far side. From the replay, it looked like a pretty touchy call, or certainly could have gone either way, but it goes the way of Spring Lake Park, and now they've got a 2nd and 10 from the Cooper 40-yard line, and they really need to cash in on this opportunity right here. Bunch formation, power set, give to Litke. Litke picking his way inside the 35 down to the 34. So it sets up a 3rd and short for this Panthers offense. And they just clearly decided, well, let's go with power on this and do what we do best with the split veer. Nice little cut back through the lane. And I believe actually, I think it's Nick Ogile wearing number 21 tonight, not number 13. Ogile again fighting his way down to the 31. So we talked about at halftime that we wanted to see Ogile, or why hadn't we seen Ogile get the carries? And indeed, Nick Ogile running it 2 straight times here sets up a 4th and 2 now from the 32. Yeah, Ogile in the programs is number 13, but obviously tonight wearing number 21.
Huge play here on 4th down.
Turn and give to Ogile again. Very upward running stance, but he gets first down yardage inside the 30 down to the 27 or so. And a heavy dose of Nick Ogile has given the Panthers a first down, moves the chains as they get down near the Cooper red zone. And meanwhile, Nehemiah Ponder taking a knee. As, I guess he's just getting a little rest. For no scoring, it's been quite an interesting 3rd quarter so far. Turn and give to Ogile again. Ogile this time wrapped up and driven back by Connors, among others.
We've got a flag all the way back at the 40-yard line. Something was going on between the quarterback and I believe Andre Reese, number 2, way back at the 40-yard line.
Meanwhile, Nehemiah Ponder is down, and this time he is on his back. Training staffs from both schools out there.
I think he just got the wind knocked out of him here. That would be my guess. He's kind of tapping on his stomach, and it looks like he's trying to catch his breath there. So
Ponder's played a whale of a football game tonight. He's led that Cooper defense. Now it brings up 1st and 10, the 28-yard line. And we'll see what the flag is.
Didn't see a whole lot of contact there, so he will have to head off the field for play. Not under his own power.
And based on that flag, it marches the football down to the 13, so a 15-yard infraction on Cooper. Not sure if it was roughing the quarterback or some other kind of personal foul.
I believe it was roughing the quarterback.
Personal foul was what the ruling was. And again, full house backfield behind Talso, gives to the up back. And a big up back it is.
It's Alex Ullman, number 99, 5'10", 290-pound junior defensive lineman.
First man through gets it down to the 9, sets up a 2nd and 6.
Visions of Refrigerator Perry running into the end zone for the 1985 Bears here.
Spring Lake Park embracing the just straight at you full house backfield right on this drive. Talso turns, gives to Ogile this time. Ogile trying to get to the edge, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 1, just shy of the end zone, but it's another Spring Lake Park first down, and they're set up 1st and goal from the 1. And it's been all Nick Ogile basically on this drive, as you see here, bouncing it outside and nearly getting to the pylon.
Yeah, as this drive, Spring Lake Park has just basically said, here's what we're going to do, try and stop us. And so far, Robbinsdale Cooper has not been able to.
Turn, gives the first man through, touchdown, Panthers! Alex Ullman, the 5'10", 290-pound junior defensive lineman, gets a touchdown, and an all-important one for the Panthers after they execute a fake punt and then take it down and pound it in from 40 yards out. Braden Comer on to attempt the extra point. He splits the uprights. 14-7. Panthers cut it to a touchdown lead.
An absolutely huge quarter touchdown there for Spring Lake Park as Ullman rumbles it in from a yard out to put the Panthers on the board. And now they have established something. They've been able to really kind of set up what they're going to do, or what they're going to need to do, in order to get back into this game, which they have, and now they've got to find a way to stop Robbinsdale Cooper and get the ball back again. There's still a mountain of time in this game, about 14, almost 15 minutes left in the game, so plenty of time for Spring Lake Park to tie this game yet. And this homecoming crowd has finally had something to cheer about, a full house, as you can see here at Spring Lake Park, and they are back into the game. They're now a factor in this one as well.
Yep, now it's up to the Panthers defense to come up big as well and try to contain this explosive Cooper offense. Royal, Keith Pirro back deep to receive.
Spring Lake Park had almost as many yards, 60 on that drive, as they had the entire first half. Only 69 yards in the first half combined. They were able to almost double their productivity on the last drive.
And good to see Nick Ogile involved in the offense, and that really was the key to that drive, just going straight power. Royal from his own 14-yard line. And he is dragged back shy of the 25. So a lot of momentum in the blue and white right now on homecoming.
Well, and not only that, but we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the penalties that have started to really pile up for Robbinsdale Cooper. Of course, they had those two for personal fouls. They've now got 7 penalties for 61 yards. One of them was on a 4th down play that they were going to get the ball back potentially. Another couple of them have been on potential 1st down plays offensively. So penalties have hurt. Only 1 penalty for 10 yards for Spring Lake Park tonight.
Royal bouncing it to the outside. He's got the edge and then some. Camden Royal into Panthers territory. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds.
And we have another flag on the near side of the football field. So hold up on this long run. They've got, well,
it would wipe out a 20.
And it was a sideline warning against Spring Lake Park. So that is just a warning. It is not a full penalty. So give credit for the long run here.
28 yards on the run as they get it down to the Spring Lake Park 48. And certainly Cooper would love nothing more than to answer Spring Lake Park's touchdown with one of their own. Again, give to Royal. Kind of dancing his way inside the 45 to the 44.
Well, and Camden Royal has started to become a royal pain for Spring Lake Park. It's 15 carries now for 120 yards. And he's put up some big runs in the last couple. 36 in the previous drive and now 28 to go along with the carry that you just saw for 120 yards.
Starting to gash them. And he is shifty. He's got everything you want in a tailback. Russell from under center. Play fake to Royal. Back to pass, throwing, and a nice catch near the sidelines. Hauled in before he tumbled out of bounds. Dante Williams came in, second leading receiver on this team. Makes the catch down to the 34-yard line. So that was a pickup of 10 on the pitch and catch. Move the chains once more for the Hawks. Royal up the gut into the waiting arms of the Spring Lake Park defense as he was met by Kyrie Shaw in the hole. Still managed to get down to the 31 for a 3-yard gain. So that's the thing, is even when he's not picking up much, he's still getting 3-4 yards at a clip. Well,
and we're right back from whence we came here with Spring Lake Park needing to find a stop. There's a little known fact in the game of football that if you're behind and you keep trading touchdowns, you can't win the game. So they're going to have to find a way to slow down this offense here, and particularly Royal here, if they're going to get back into this game for Spring Lake Park.
Use another turnover. Russell looking left, floating it out there. He's got a man, and it's knocked away at the last second. Well defended by Freddie Anthony. Pass was intended for Camden Royal, slipping out the backfield.
And he had him out there. Royal had beat the defender, but just got a little bit turned around. And I think Royal would have liked to have had that off his right shoulder instead of his left shoulder. But a little bit led to the left side. Just the 3rd incomplete pass of the night for Joe Russell.
It just shows you how efficient this Cooper offense has been. 3rd and 7 from the 31. And flag comes flying in, and indeed it's going to be a false start. So the Cooper penalties continue to pile up in this second half.
And another penalty in a really bad spot for Robbinsdale Cooper. You've got 3rd and 7. Now you back it up to 3rd and 12. You're just putting yourself in a worse and worse position in order to have to pick up that first down, which they've got to get between the 25 and 24-yard line for the first down.
The kicker has been really good at extra points. Leo Garcia, excellent at extra points, but not much in the field goal department. So probably 2-down territory here for Cooper. 3-step drop over the middle, nearly intercepted, and it's dropped. Freddie Anthony had it in his hands, but he couldn't hang on. It tipped off of the intended receiver's hands. That was Dante Williams. I think it jammed his fingers, and then Anthony couldn't hang on to the pick.
That's one of those where had the ball not been tipped, he would have been right there, but it got tipped and it came just to the left a little bit, and he had to try and redirect and just unable to come up with it.
Potentially the play of the game right here. 32 seconds left in the third. 4th and 12 from the 36. Panthers need to stop. Russell back to pass. Throwing down the seam. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Dante Williams. 36-yard touchdown strike on 4th down. And Robbinsdale Cooper is an extra point away from the 2-touchdown lead.
That was a beautiful play. You could see the defensive coordinator for Spring Lake Park pointing down the middle. He saw what Robbinsdale Cooper saw, which was the seam down the middle was going to be open, and Dante Williams was able to find it as Russell connects for his 2nd touchdown pass of the game.
Dante Williams, his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, or of the season rather. Russell, another touchdown pass. Garcia tacks on the extra point. Robbinsdale Cooper now leads at 21-7.
And Russell now 13 of 17 for 195 yards and 2 touchdown passes in the game. He's been able to be extremely efficient and effective passing the football. As we watch it again down the middle, and you can see as he lets it go, Williams was able to get in between the seam there, and he's got an easy pitch and catch. Just nobody there defending the receiver down the middle.
But it was a beautifully thrown ball, and I
perfect.
loved the way Russell looked off. I thought it was really nice how Russell looked off the defense and then kind of came back to his receiver and Williams. He knew he had a step on the Panthers defense, and ultimately just a pitch and catch. And Russell has been very impressive tonight, certainly looking like an elite quarterback. Have not seen him running the ball much tonight. He's all been from the pocket basically, but as you said, about as efficient as they come at the high school level.
2 rushes on the evening for 15 yards for Russell.
2 touchdown passes as well tonight, as they'll do a little trickeration to Aaron Clausen. Clausen with a hole. Clausen into the open field. Garcia comes over and knocks him out of bounds, but he's into Cooper territory, and it's a big return on the kickoff for Spring Lake Park.
And a huge return there. That is going to give a short field for Spring Lake Park. And with the offense as effective as it was, it's methodical. And so if you can get a short field going for Spring Lake Park, if that's brought down at the 20, you've got a long field. But Clausen accelerates and gets through. Only the kicker to beat. And a short field here for Spring Lake Park.
So Clausen's been involved in some big special teams plays tonight for Spring Lake Park. Again, give it to the big man, and Ullman plows forward inside the 45 down to 44. He doesn't get much, but he is a load to bring down.
That's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So we go to the 4th. Spring Lake Park has the football, down by 2 touchdowns, and needs to come up with something here in order to come back here on homecoming to Spring Lake Park.
Back here to start the 4th quarter. Give on the opening play, and Clausen gets it down to the 41-yard line. So a pickup of 3 on that carry. Now Spring Lake Park needing to work with a little bit of urgency, trailing by 2 touchdowns here early in the 4th quarter.
And this is going to be 4-down territory at this point. So they have the advantage of knowing they can work with that.
Turn and give to Ogile, and Ogile's going to be stopped short. So again, they'll need to convert on 4th down. will be a couple yards short. He gets that down to the 38-yard line. Brings up 4th and 2 now. Again, full house backfield for the Panthers. Turn and give and blown up. Ponder leading a host of Hawks, and that turns the football over to Cooper. A big stop for the Cooper defense.
Yeah, huge play there. Looked like Juan Duran getting in there to make the stop, number 45.
Duran in there. Andre Reese. Saw Dante Williams catch a touchdown pass. He's also one of their better defenders. So now, with a 2-touchdown lead, Cooper takes over. 1st and 10. Camden Royal up the gut. He's stacked up and driven down. Tackled by, among others, Hunter Milarsic and Kyrie Shaw. 2nd and 5 from the 43. Now Cooper will take their time in terms of huddling. No need to rush with a 21-7 lead. Connors split near side. Russell under center. Turns and gives to Royal. Royal skipping his way to the 2nd level, and he drags defenders inside the 40 down to the 38. A big gainer.
Yeah, and Royal's just starting to pile up the yards in big chunks at this point. He's been able to get into the secondary and watch again. Once again, he gets some good blocks up front, and also the blocking from the wide receivers downfield are really opening up some holes for Royal, and that's allowing some of these really big runs. And that's also why sometimes you've seen these downfield holdings, is because you're getting a lot of blocking usage from your wide receivers.
19 on that run. Royal this time gets it down near the 30-yard line. Stop him up at the 32. So a pickup of 6 right there.
We've got a flag again, however, back at the 41-yard line. This is going to be holding again against Robbinsdale.
So wipe out the 6-yard gain.
Yeah, there's a rule about tackling the defensive player, and your offensive lineman on the right side, one of the offensive linemen, just basically tackled the defensive player.
And that also stops the clock.
Right there. That's not allowed.
Big number 71, A.J. Ryan, 6 feet 285. A pancake block and then some. So the ball spotted at midfield, 1st and 22, but the clock continues to run. Royal again up the gut. Actually, beg your pardon, that's Terence Matthews, the 6'1", 175-pound senior, getting the rock, toting the rock.
Well, and you start looking at the clock, and there's 9 minutes to go, and you know, you say 3 timeouts, it's all great. There's still plenty of time, but the reality is, for Spring Lake Park, the way their offense moves, they need sometimes 6 minutes to score a touchdown, depending on how things work, unless you get a big play. So Cooper is probably going to be pretty content to keep the ball on the ground here.
They could use a turnover right now as a stiff arm by Royal gets him out of 1 tackle, manages to fall forward for another 5 inside the 40 down to the 39, and he is just a load to tackle.
Well, and let's take a look again. Watch this. So the initial contact, and I've said this before, is right there at the 45-yard line, and he gets another 6 yards after contact. We've talked about it all night. I mean, he's a speed back. He's able to break into that secondary and accelerate from that, but he's also a power back. And so he gets hit, but he keeps on moving those feet. And the yards after contact have been numerous for Camden Royal tonight.
Royal picked up 7 on that carry. Makes it 3rd and 12. Russell goes to the air. He goes up top. He's got a man down there, and a flag comes flying in at the end. It's off the fingertips of Pirro.
That's going to be, I believe, pass interference.
Yep, certainly the early indication. Anthony was down there along with Owen Spencer.
It looks like maybe an injury on the field as well. Well, looks like he's up.
Corey Deloach.
So pass interference there against the defense, and yeah, the receiver downfield, he went down onto the field before the ball got to him. As we take a look here, is a nice ball again, thrown by Russell, and watch right here, he gets grabbed right there and pulled to the ground.
Yeah,
almost made the catch.
Got the legs tangled up as well.
That was number 10, Owen Spencer, as you mentioned. So first down, and that's another 2 minutes potentially off the clock, even if they don't score a touchdown here.
So 1st and 10 at the 24. Again, give to Royal. Bangs his way down inside the red zone. Royal proving to be something of a workhorse as well. Well over 20 carries on the night for him. Spotted at the 20. 2nd and 6. And obviously any points here for Cooper would just about seal the game. This time knifing in and making a nice tackle. Played by Nathaniel Winiger, slicing through at just 5'9" and making the stop. Just a gain of 1. But again, that clock continues to tick inside 7 minutes.
Big game in high school football tonight in Class 6A. Number 2 Shakopee taking on number 3 Eden Prairie. Halftime score, Eden Prairie leading Shakopee 9-0.
Yeah, that one was a good one. Russell goes to the air looking for Connors. Touchdown! A fade to the back right corner. Easy as you please from 19 yards out.
What a beautiful pass, and that is meeting the receiver where he's going to be at, not where he's at, as Russell floats it over. Only one person can catch that. That's David Connors, and it's right over his shoulder. And an easy pitch and catch there as Connors with his 7th touchdown of the year through the air for Robbinsdale Cooper.
Cooper has looked thoroughly impressive here tonight, Nick.
Yeah, they have very solid all the way around offense, defense, special teams. They have committed a number of penalties. That's the one thing that's probably a knock on them tonight, but they have been able to control this game from the early goings. And watch that touch right there.
Just a gorgeous pass. Throw. Just a gorgeous pass. He's got arm strength, clearly has the touch as well. Not sure what his college plans are, but he certainly looks like he could play at the next level. Joe Russell. Cooper looking set to improve to 4-2 on the season and send Spring Lake Park to a 4-2 record as well. Now, I'm curious, Nick, because you've seen Robbinsdale Armstrong as well, and Robbinsdale Cooper. Certainly not 49-14 different, but compare and contrast the two Robbinsdale programs this year.
Well, I think they're pretty similar. I think Robbinsdale Armstrong moves the ball through the air even more than what we've seen here from Cooper tonight. They've just got so many weapons from the receiver positions. They've got 2 Newburns. People might remember former gopher Melvin Newburn. He's got 2 kids that are both excellent basketball players, but also very, very good receivers for that team. And I got to see them play Chanhassen last week, and just really, really impressive. These two teams are very similar. I mean, they're just very efficient, and so it'll be interesting in a couple of weeks when Robbinsdale Armstrong takes on Spring Lake Park to see how that matchup is. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed by the football coming out of Robbinsdale this year.
Yeah, they certainly have quite a few athletes and just real skilled position players, good size up front. Because really, ultimately, if we think about the difference in the game tonight, Nick, it has been at that line of scrimmage. That's where it started.
Yep, and they've been very impressive tonight. And both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball, they have slowed down Spring Lake Park's rush offense with their defensive line. with the exception of that one drive that was primarily basically a bruise 'em type drive. And now it looks like a little different set. They're going to go with a 3 wide receiver set here on first down.
Yeah, perhaps our first couple passes. Instead, it's going to be a pitch out wide, cutting upfield, spinning away from pressure, and a nice gainer on first down. Big pickup of 15 yards for Comer down to the 40-yard line. So Braden Comer showing a good running style, and he comes up limping a little bit. So certainly Spring Lake Park a little bit banged up coming out of this game too.
That's the longest play of the day for Spring Lake Park, 15 yards. And you take a look in contrast with Robbinsdale Cooper, some of the dynamic plays that they've had, 32 yards, 27 yards, 36 yards on the ground. Just more dynamic tonight.
Yeah, big plays out of this Cooper offense for sure. Talso swallowed up and sacked. Good collapse of the pocket by Deshaun Ricks, 6'3", 250.
Now, to be fair, Spring Lake Park's game is not designed to be overly dynamic. They want to control the time of possession. They want to control the line of scrimmage. They just haven't been able to do that as effectively as they have wanted to tonight.
But against the likes of Matamidi or whatever, they had big plays in the run game, ripping off big runs of 60, 70 yards for touchdowns. And credit to Cooper for limiting that tonight. Give up the middle and jumping on the back. Ricks tracks down the play from behind as Clausen picks up 5 down to the 35.
You were talking about Joe Russell. Just looked up his profile on one of the rating sites. It looks like he's got an offer from Northern Iowa to play football down there. That would be the FCS level.
And a good FCS program.
Yeah, very good.
Again, just this lone setback. That's Ogile. He'll get the pitch coming right. And Nehemiah Ponder gets him in the backfield. And just that speed, knifing through that line and getting penetration. We've seen it time and time again from Cooper as we're inside 4.5 minutes to go in the game.
And this is the last gasp here for Spring Lake Park. If they don't get this, the game will effectively be over at this point, down by 3 touchdowns.
So we'll see what they draw up. 3 receivers near side. Ogile, the lone setback. Pitch out wide to Nate Litke, off his hands. And that kind of sums up Spring Lake Park's homecoming tonight.
Yeah, it just hasn't worked out. And a lot of that has to do with Robbinsdale Cooper, the way they have played today. You know, there's obviously things that Spring Lake Park probably after the game would say that they would have liked to have done better, but at the same time you have to give credit to the opponent, and they've just been able to move the ball and really against a good defense here in Spring Lake Park, and it's been very impressive tonight, and this is a well-deserved victory in a few minutes potentially for Robbinsdale Cooper.
First down carry for Camden Royal, down as he's nearing, got to be nearing 150 yards or thereabouts.
Yeah, before the last drive, he had 16 carries for 123 yards. So getting up close to that 150 area.
And yeah, you're talking about a Spring Lake Park defense that nearly shut out a very powerful Matamidi attack just last week. So Cooper will play at Irondale next week. As Royal bounces it outside, cuts it upfield, first down yardage. To midfield. Spring Lake Park, meanwhile, will visit Tartan before hosting Robbinsdale Armstrong in the finale. Cooper, as we said, goes to Irondale and then hosts Benilde St. Margaret's. He sets up the block really nicely there with Williams.
Yeah, I think
directing.
The blocking has been what's been impressive. I mean, obviously the running back gets a lot of credit, Camden Royal, but those holes don't open up themselves, and so a lot of credit to the line and also the wide receivers. I've seen some really good blocks by wide receivers downfield tonight.
Yeah, blocking on the edge by those wideouts. Not just talented pass catchers, and as you said, Russell has really spread the football around tonight as well. Russell taking his time, gives it to Matthews, and Matthews backing his way down to the 45.
Obviously, at this point, with 2:33 to go, likely won't see timeouts from Spring Lake Park. So for Cooper, it's just a matter of keeping the clock running, use up as much as you can in between each play. I don't see a play clock, so just getting information from the officials on the field. How much time is left?
Russell into the second level. Russell stiff-arming his way down. Finally knocked out of bounds inside the 20 at the 19. But another big run, that time of 26 yards, and there's an injured Cooper player on the field. And actually, that's Matthews. I beg your pardon. He looked like Russell.
Yeah, some impressive runs now by multiple backs here for Robbinsdale Cooper. Do we have a holding penalty that's going to negate that, however?
Cooper again. Now 6 penalties for 71 yards.
Actually 9 penalties.
Oh, 9 penalties for 71 yards.
71, yeah. That's Dante Williams on the deck for Robbinsdale Cooper, and that's a bit of a concern for the Hawks as they are working, looks like, on his lower leg.
Yeah, it could just be a cramp on this unseasonably warm night. Actually, it's really a beautiful night for football.
Well, they're working maybe on his knee, it looks like. I don't know if this is a cramp. Usually you'd be stretching that, but looked like they were working and bending the knee.
But off on his own, under his own power. Williams, one of 3 touchdown passes caught tonight from Russell. Russell hitting Williams, Connors, and Cager with touchdown strikes tonight. And can certainly understand why FCS schools would love to get their hands on Joe Russell. Royal back in there, busting through the middle. Camden Royal trying to get to the pylon, and he will. Touchdown.
No flags on the field this time from 45 yards out, and now well over 150 yards, maybe approaching 200 yards rushing on the night. And that is the exclamation point for Robbinsdale Cooper tonight. Is this game is more spread out, or not as bad as the final score will indicate it, but not by much. Robbinsdale Cooper has been impressive in a lot of facets tonight, and they're going to top it off with the extra point here to try and make it 35-7.
Leo Garcia padding his extra point stats this year. He's now 23 of 24 on the season. And just a beautiful run by Camden Royal, running through a few arm tackles, a lot of tired defenders, and then using the speed to get the end zone. His second rushing touchdown of the night.
Well, and we talked about the blocking, but on that particular run, that was a lot of Royal. He was able to just outrun the defense. He got an initial block up front, and then he was just off to the races.
Camden Royal now with 10 touchdowns on the season. He came into the game with 720 yards, and we don't have an official count, but he's got to be over with that run. He's got to be over 200 now.
Yeah.
If or at least close to it, if not over. 200 yards of rushing tonight, plus you add in all the passing yards, and Joe Russell with 3 touchdown strikes, and it's just been an impressive offensive display, certainly, especially in this fourth quarter from Cooper, where they really pulled away here against Spring Lake Park. So Leo Garcia will tee it up at the 40-yard line and kick it away with just 1 minute and 41 seconds left. Crowd still pretty good here at Panther Stadium. Not Not a ton of people have filed out.
This game has gone so fast, they just barely got in.
Right. He sat down and looked up, and this game was 14-0 at half, and then 14-7. But 3 straight touchdowns have made this a wider margin than the game was for the most part, as Clausen gets tripped up out near the 25-yard line. I think people are going to look at this score and not know that this game, for at least 3/4 of it, was close.
Yeah.
Like you said, Cooper, certainly a well-earned victory, and you know, played really, really well. But again, Spring Lake Park late in the third was within a touchdown after they forced that fumble. So, but Robbinsdale Cooper, an impressive victory on the road here. So the Panthers will go back to work on offense. Braden Talso remains in at quarterback. And he'll give to the first man through. Pickup of 3 yards, as we'll start to see some of the backups. Grant Ricker, a junior running back, 5'9", 160, gets the tote there. Any other scores to update us on, Nick?
Well, I was actually looking at the rankings. Spring Lake Park came in at 7.
Yep.
Robbinsdale Cooper was not ranked, but I think at 4-2, and with some pretty impressive victories, you might have to start thinking about that.
At one point this season, they were 9th at one point, and then they lost to Holy Angels, and that knocked them out of the rankings. But of course, Holy Angels, one of the top-ranked teams in the class as well, as Deshaun Ricks continues to make plays, swallowing up Ricker there. Panthers will fall to 4-2 with this loss. They'll lick their wounds and try to get another victory on the road in the East Metro, visiting Tartan next week.
Robbinsdale Armstrong, we did talk about them. They defeated Apple Valley today, 43-0.
Said a lot of good football being played in Robbinsdale this year. Clausen, one more carry to the 30, and at this point you just want to get out of here healthy, both teams. Robbinsdale Cooper will improve to 4-2 on the season. They've won 2 straight now.
Holy Angels defeating St. Louis Park, or leading 42-19, as we're talking about that score, as well as this one has gone fine.
Indeed it has. Robbinsdale Cooper comes on the road and spoils Spring Lake Park's homecoming by a final score of 35-7. For our director Kenton Kipp and our entire crew, including my broadcast partner Nick Walsh, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from Panther Stadium at Spring Lake Park High School. Panthers lose a tough one on homecoming tonight to Robbinsdale Cooper, 35-7. You've been watching high school football on North Metro TV.